By default, on amateur difficulty, Phasmophobia has a 5-minute timer that starts counting down as soon as you enter the door of the building you are investigating. So it does not count down when you open the door of the truck or when you're in the truck gathering your equipment, but as soon as you enter that door, this counter will start counting down. Now, this counter is 2 minutes on intermediate difficulty, and you start with 0 time on professional. So on professional, you are basically in a free for all. It's just you are in there and it is danger from the start. So one trick you can do before you even get started is you can start bringing equipment with you and you can drop it off by the door. I mean, on this, obviously on one like this, it's not that big a deal because you're right here. But some of them are a decent little walk to get to the truck. So you can give yourself a head start by simply dropping these on the ground. As much stuff as you think you'll need. And that way you have it all ready for you when you enter the house. If the counter starts timing down, you can come here, grab it quickly, and get set up much faster than if you have to run all the way back to the truck every single time you need something. The default flashlight and the strong flashlight can of course be both carried in your hand. But what the game doesn't really tell you, and what a lot of people don't know starting out, is that you can actually equip this flashlight on your shoulder. This works for both the strong and the regular flashlight, and this frees your hands up for other gadgets, making investigation a lot easier than stumbling around in the dark like I did in my first several playthroughs. You will notice that your truck has a number of displays available here. And these displays aren't here just for looks. They actually have pretty important information here that you will want to be familiar with. So the first display here is, as you can see, the layout of the house. Now if you click this handy white button here, it will switch between the different floors. And as you can see with the green icon, that is telling you where the fuse box is. This is very important information to know, so you will want to familiarize yourself with this layout before you enter the house. The ghost will like to turn off the power quite frequently. Another handy thing about this layout is you will actually see your teammates if you're playing with other people as little green dots moving around the house. So you will be able to monitor them, watch which rooms they go into, and watch them die horribly if that's what happens. The other thing that this will show is if you have the sound sensor, or sorry, not the sound sensor, the motion sensor, it will show up as the room it's in will show up as kind of lit up by a yellow box, and that's just showing you the range of that sensor, which is to say it will generally detect the room that you're in. This is a sound sensor graph. So when you set up sound sensors, which you place onto wall of whatever room or hall you want to monitor, that information will be patched through to here. So you can see there will be a strength graph, and yours divide up into 4 sensors. You can have 4 sensors at any time, and these sensor names will actually change to the name of the room that you have placed the sensor in. So if you put in the nursery of, say, the starter house, the tutorial house, it will change to nursery. Same if it's in like the TV room or living room or whatever, that will change on here to let you know which room that sensor is in, so you can easily at a glance monitor the sensors on this chart here. The third screen here is the team sanity. This is pretty self-explanatory. You and your teammates' sanity will be displayed here. The longer you're in the house, in the dark, the faster that will go down. And when you're in the light, it will go down slower, and when you're in a truck, it won't go down at all. So keep that in mind, and make sure to monitor your sanity, because if it goes down too low, particularly if it hits 0, you will start getting hunted quite a lot. And you'll have more and more paranormal activity occur to you. Speaking of paranormal activity, this last graph here basically charts the activity in the house. This is overall activity for the whole house. And when there's an event, you will see the spike up to 10, and then it'll drop when that event ends, and it'll go back down to whatever level is normal for that house. This will tend to go up over time as well, so keep an eye on it, because you will not to know if you are like at a steady 5, 6, or 7 without even any events. Then you are probably, well, you've probably just been in the house for too long. You might want to consider leaving sooner rather than later before the ghost eats you. The last screen of note is this computer monitor here. I do not have any cameras set up just yet, but if you do, you just click the mouse and it will switch between the cameras. Make sure your cameras are on, and keyboard will actually change between night vision on and off. And that is the background of your truck here. And then obviously you have your objectives whiteboard here. Always a good idea to read through these objectives to know what objectives you can get paid for. Your main objectives will always be to figure out what the ghost is, and then you'll get some additional information here that will basically tell you the name of the ghost, if the ghost is going to respond to everybody, or if you need to be alone to get the response of the ghost, and more or less that is it. This is your best friend in the entire game. Welcome to the thermometer. Anything below 10 degrees Celsius or 50 degrees Fahrenheit is a cold spot. Anything below freezing temperatures on either scale is obviously freezing temperatures, which is a piece of evidence you can use to determine the type of ghost you're dealing with. But even finding below or the cold spots, so below 10 degrees Celsius or 50 degrees Fahrenheit, this ghost is really messing with me right now, will allow you to start your investigation, because this is where you will find your evidence, most likely. And it's a great place to start. This is the EMF detector. As you can see, it's going off with a couple lights here. That means it picked up a little bit of EMF activity. Nothing too crazy though. What you're looking for is a strong source of activity to show you where the ghost is. This is probably your best tool when you first start the game to figure out where the ghost is before you get the thermometer. I think the thermometer is a better tool for finding where the ghost haunt area is, but this is also very useful for finding that out, as well as finding level 5 will be a piece of evidence for you. If you die during a mission, you will lose all the special equipment that you paid for and brought with you. Anything you did not bring to the mission will still be safe, but anything you brought to the mission with you will be lost. You will get, on amateur difficulty, you will get some money back, which I believe is 50%, and then 25% on intermediate. You will get some of that money back, but you will still lose all the equipment you brought with you. So choose wisely and carefully what you bring with you and what you think you need. If you don't need it, don't bring it. Something you will find frequently is extra items such as keys. This what I just picked up was a car key. You will also sometimes pick up items like Ouija boards, or you can pick them up. You may find them lying around. Those items can be used in different ways. The key I just picked up, which I'm pretty sure was a car key, you can use to turn off the car in the garage if the ghost decides to make its horn go off, its alarm, which they will do sometimes. So you probably want to pick up these keys if you can, just to make sure you're not leaving that running, because it'll probably get annoying after a while, and it will make it harder to hear other sounds throughout the house that may indicate where the ghost actually is. The Ouija board is an item that you can use to communicate with the ghost. Be very careful using it though, just like in real life, or the folktales for real life Ouija boards, is you may get more than you expect. When using a Ouija board, it can possibly end the safety timer prematurely, and it can also cause very strong paranormal activity. Now, if that's what you're looking for, great, but if not, then you may want to avoid playing with such item until you are ready for it, or if you just don't really have a choice and you cannot find what you're looking for in terms of evidence any other way. Don't go in alone. If you play with other people, not only do you have a better chance of surviving, the workload and the equipment you have to take in is split across a couple people. Just keep in mind that the loadout, the default loadout you start with does not change regardless of how many people you bring. So you may need to purchase additional flashlights in order for the other teammate to not have to wander around blindly. Alternatively, you could just switch on lights throughout the house in order to not have to do things in the dark. So if you pissed off the ghost and it starts hunting you, you will know because your light will start flashing. At that point, you probably want to hide somewhere or run out of the house. You can hide in a closet and turn off your light and hope and pray that the ghost doesn't find you. Alternatively, you could simply run out and wait for the event to pass. That is probably your best bet in terms of surviving such an event. And I hope I didn't just piss off the ghost by calling out his name. So if you can't find the last piece of evidence and things are getting a little intense, your timer's down, you're getting lots of activity, and you're pretty sure if you step back in you're going to be hunted, especially if you brought custom equipment or the equipment you paid for that you stand to lose. Don't be afraid of taking what you got, taking a half decent guess with what you have, and any evidence you've gathered, and just bailing. You won't lose your equipment, and you will still get paid at least something. Thanks for watching my Phasmophobia 10 Tips for Beginners video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, please like and subscribe for more content from me.